What's up, guys? ClutchFan37 here. As you can tell from the title description, I'm going to be giving you an overview of the Wolf Athletics Rekon head. So I just got this in the mail today. My mailman actually just dropped it off 2 minutes ago. Haven't even opened it yet, so I'm going to kind of open it, show you guys what it looks like. Then I'm going to string it up, play with it a little bit, and then give you guys an overview. Won't do a full review of it just yet because, as I say in many videos, I like to use a product for 2-3 weeks, get a full feel for it before I give you a review. That way, I don't say, I think the head is decent, and then I use it, and it ends up being something I don't like at all. So, here we go. Let's open it up and check it out. So, also, huge thanks to Wolf Athletics for reaching out and sending me one of these. I definitely want to check one out and have, since seeing people post about it over Instagram. So, I'm trying to open this without destroying the box. So the box is pretty sweet. Alright. That is fancy. So, as I'm sure many of you have seen in other people's videos or posts, this is what the inside of the box is. On the side it has the Rekon head. So we got a stringing kit here. Then we got a ball stop and some of those tip things. I don't remember what they're called. The Aura mesh kit. Oh, that's light. Wow. And the head itself. So, just from looking at it, it's extremely lightweight. There's nothing too crazy. If I didn't know about this head, didn't see people's reviews, and didn't talk to the guys over at Wolf Athletics a little bit about the process of it, I think it's, a decent head, definitely a first company's head or a company's first head. The scoop itself, it just looks very flat to me up here and right here. Sidewall design, it's very flat throughout, pretty much most of it, which is good for creating pockets, but I like a head that has a bit more curvature to it. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen all the different textures people have gone over in videos. 2 screw holes in the back, fairly wide, definitely decent face shape. It almost looks like the Adidas Enrage head, where it's kind of like a banana shape, how it starts here, you get the offset, and then the scoop kind of comes upward. So anyway, I'm going to string it up and then play with it a little bit and let you guys know how I feel about it. So here's the finished product. I went and shot and passed with it for a while just to kind of get a feel for it. So now I kind of have a decent idea to give you guys a good overview of the head. Like I stated before, I won't be doing a full review of it for another 2 weeks or so just because I want to use as much as I can. So this is kind of an overview, my first thoughts, and my opinions on it. So I used the Aura mesh kit they provided, which is a piece of mesh. They had 4 sidewalls and 3 shooting strings. After seeing the sidewalls they provided, they're very thin, and they're thinner than cross-lace, or at least the standard cross-lace I have here. So I was concerned about, if they'd hold their shape, if they'd rip, unstringing it, things like that. So I thought about just going with your typical sidewall string, but I decided to stick completely with the Wolf Athletics theme. Minus a top nylon, of course. So I used their strings, and to my surprise, yes, they're lightweight, and yes, they're thin, but they also hold up very well. So what I had to do is I had a double wrap in the top hole. You could get away with just single wrapping it, but I figured if you double wrap it, you're going to have a lot less chance of it pulling out, and having to redo it or retie a knot. So just did a double wrap. The top holes, with the sidewall string they provide, you could probably fit a sidewall or one of theirs through there 6 times, maybe 7. Don't know why you'd need that, but it's kind of cool. Another cool thing is the shape of the sidewalls. It has a flat point right here where the sidewall will go, which is nice because if you do a top string, one of the regular ways or one of the basic ways, they sit on the edge and they don't move. They don't slide around, so you're not going to have the mesh kind of pulling left or right, which I think is definitely cool. Definitely good. 6 top holes, pretty standard for most lacrosse sets nowadays. Sidewall holes, I don't want to count them, and I'm bad at counting, but there's a lot. So stringing this thing up is an absolute breeze. I didn't check out their video because I wanted to give it a CF37 pocket to it, or at least as close as I could the first couple rounds. And usually when I get a brand new head that I haven't strung before, it takes me 2 or 3 times to find out a good pattern. And I'm sure I could maybe figure something out that's a little better than this, that would suit my playstyle better. But for the first time, stringing it up, it came out pretty close to what I would use, or at least in this head. So like Chris from Mainly Mesh said, when you're going down, typically most people do 10 diamonds going down. He did 11, and after doing 10 and putting a bomb string in it, just kind of a floater pocket just to see what it would do, the bomb string itself was just too long for me. So I went with 11 diamonds down, just like he said, with a shorter bottom string. Still legal barely, but still works out. So the mesh kit they provide is awesome. Super lightweight. The sidewalls are very durable. One thing I did notice is when you go to burn them, they don't burn very well or easily. But rest assured, that's why they provide these little guys. They're, I don't know what they're called. Tips. We'll call them tips. So basically you slide the tip on, you light it up or heat it up. That was very Coloradan of me to say. Anyway, you put it on, you light it with a flame or a fire. You get the point. You heat it up and it seals itself. You don't have to worry about burning the ends. The reason I haven't used them yet is because, one, I kind of want to save them for, some of my other tips on my strings come undone. And two, I do plan on dyeing this head at some point, so I wanted to save those for after that, and that way to make sure that the pocket and everything is locked in. But overall, I mean, I feel bad because at the beginning of the video I said it looked like a typical head you'd see, like a first head from a company. And, that was kind of not necessarily a shot at them, but it was kind of like I felt they could have done better. But, they rest assured they told me they spent 300 plus hours working on it. Things like that. But after actually using it, I'm definitely really, really intrigued and into it. So one thing that I didn't like at first, but I do understand now, is the flat sidewall design. Most heads will have a curvature, but this one, it's relatively flat, kind of like a Houdini or a voice, if you're old enough to know what that one is. But with that, it allows you to get pretty much a pocket anywhere you want. I am a person that likes a lot of shifty pockets, so one that'll shift low, one that'll shift high. But with this flat sidewall design, it definitely allows that very easily. One thing I did notice is the back rails right here where you string it up. They're a lot beefier and they're a lot stiffer than the top rails up here. I don't know if that's necessarily good or bad yet, just because I haven't used it really in a game or practice. One thing I'm a little afraid of is if it starts to pinch like this. I can't imagine it would, or at least for me, since I'm an attackman and I don't really do a lot of breaking heads, but you just never know. The scoop itself, I'm still a little concerned about or indifferent about. It's very flat, which I'm assuming is great for ground balls. Chris from Alien Mesh said he loved it for ground balls. Me, I don't really do your typical ground ball. I'm not an LSM or a MIDI. I don't know how to explain it. I just go for ground balls, one-handed, two-handed. I don't really look at heads and think, oh, it's great for ground balls. So we'll see how that goes, but just like Chris said as well, passing and shooting with it, it definitely felt like it had a bit more snap to it. Now, I don't think that's because of the pocket or how tight the shooters and the nylons are. I think it's actually the design of the head. So, I don't know. Overall, Wolf Athletics, I'll put the link in the description below. Definitely go check it out. They have some great shafts coming out in the next couple of weeks. Christmas time, they got some cool stuff coming out. And for $100 for a brand new head, a full mesh kit, and honestly one of the coolest boxes I've ever seen, you really can't go wrong. If you got the money laying around and you want to try something new that's not the typical Rabel, Command, Lakota situation, I definitely would check out the Rekon head by Wolf Athletics. Overall, I think I'm going to like this head. Aesthetically wise, it looks great. The face shape's a little goofy, but it's just, the more I look at it, the more it reminds me of a voice or a Houdini, just better. So they spent a lot of time on this. Pair this up with one of their Ghost shafts, one of the new shafts coming out, and this thing's just going to be an absolute weapon. And not only that, it's extremely lightweight, one of the lighter heads on the market. I've been using a Command for the last year and a half, and that weighs about 5.2 ounces. This one comes in at 4.55, so it's instantly almost 0.7 ounces lighter, which is crazy. Durability wise, I don't know how long it'll hold up in the front, but the back seems to be good. Scoop, I mean, you can kind of move it around, but you can do that with most heads. So I'll put the pattern in the description for you guys, but like I said, please go check them out. Give it another 2 weeks or so, I'll do a shooting video of it as well as a full review and give you guys my full opinion after definitely using it a lot more. But for $100, I mean, it's pretty standard for a lacrosse head, but you get a mesh kit. And a smaller company, which I think is pretty cool. So, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the description if you have one of these or if you plan to pick one up. And just let me know what your thoughts are on this. I try my best not to judge a book by its cover, but I did it with this head, and I'm eating my words because the more I play with it, the more I like it. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy.